Welcome back to the EMS One Katowice final. We're in day one. It's rolling up on 11:30 local time in Poland in the Spodek Arena. It's definitely dark outside, but it's very, very light and very exciting in here as we have seen pretty much, again, some upsets in the start of Group C and D in the first round of play. We spoke a little bit about the map with Navi and LGB. Yep. But we now know that we're going to be looking at Fnatic and iBUYPOWER going up in a second. What's your feeling on that? The bracket's going to be up here, I believe.
Yeah, here comes our bracket. Again, I did call iBUYPOWER, and I kind of called Fnatic. So that, to me, that's like a double-edged set, both dropping down. And obviously, we are at the stage where, as I say, lose two in barbecue, someone's going home with $2,000, and neither of these teams, especially Fnatic, are expected to leave tonight.
Having been the victors at the last $250,000 tournament of this kind, and some saying, I'm not siding with that, I'm staying completely middle of the road, but some say perhaps in a flukish kind of fashion, this is not the moment when they want to be having a hard time or a bumpy road. They want to be showing that they weren't a one-hit wonder on that, and that they deserve to be, the victors of DreamHack Winter. Do you think that's going to be playing into their mind when they go up against iBUYPOWER?
I mean, absolutely. Karn is here with them, and he is doing all he can to make them understand how important this one is. To send the right message that, hey, this first time wasn't a fluke. And again, you do have the conversation about best of one side. Does that really give you the best team of the matchup? It does on that one map and that one space in time, but best of threes, you can throw away a map, you can lose and come back and then win the next two, and then maybe that really tells you who the better overall team is of the matchup. But hey, it is what it is. It's best of one.
Both teams have the same problems. So
we all got the same rules. What we do know, we're back to Inferno again.
Inferno.
And iBUYPOWER has the CT side. So
do you think that's going to make him happy? Is that going to play into that?
Yeah, I mean, in a normal world, it is generally considered a CT-sided map. Obviously, complexity last hour turned that on its head with a 12-3 as terrorists. But generally, it leans to be CT-sided. Not like a nuke is CT-sided, but definitely it favors you, especially if you get through that pistol round and can get some other rounds rolling and get your money going. But again, I won't say what Demon won't let me say anymore, the catchphrase I use. But again,
any given Sunday.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll say
you
it for you. Don't
ding!
worry. I'll
chalk another one up.
There you go.
But again, I would say it's going to be a good match. But again, they both kind of did me wrong already. So I don't even know how this could be a blowout either way. Who knows?
And of course, very quickly on the side, we have Mystique and Navi. Any predictions on that side, or?
I'm going to go with Navi.
Go with Navi.
Yeah, they're going to keep the dream alive. Well, but we'll see.
We will definitely see, and of course, in order to see, that means we need to hand over to the wonderful caster duo that is, of course, Stu and Pansy. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Sean and Scott. Interesting stuff for sure. We have a game where one of iBUYPOWER or Fnatic is going out. Crazy stuff. Let's talk through the two losses, which was not a statement I thought I'd say. iBUYPOWER losing to Dignitas. Now, there's an interesting backstory that feeds into the best of one there. They lost 14-1 CT side on Nuke. Sorry, Dignitas were CT side on Nuke and won 14-1 in that first half. That can happen to anyone.
Yep.
That's, that you've seen it happen, at any given point on any given Sunday. To any number of teams.
Sensational use of the words here. It's fantastic.
So I don't know what to read into that. I don't know if that's the true reaction. I don't know if that's what that actually means. Fnatic, they're losing 16-2 to Reason. That just came out of nowhere.
It's a game of flukes right now in my eyes. A lot of questions are raised about both of these teams having previous incredibly big victories, whether it be at the ESEA finals or whether it be at DreamHack. Both the teams we're looking at, coming into this game, have both been labeled flukes. And there's been a lot of those kind of coming down to best of one moments, maybe that now can be chalked up to it as well. That, as you said, Nuke, it's a dangerous map. You don't get the side you want, you get put on that one. You're going to be coming in with a huge deficit, and you're back in that mentality of round by round by round. You can take it no other way. Otherwise you're pretty much kind of psyching yourself out already. So, really hard.
Looks like it's going to be Inferno as our map.
Yep.
I'm going to make a big sweeping generalization.
Okay.
Americans deliver on Inferno.
Is there a reason we're going for
Is that
this?
accurate? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Scoots is nodding. Just so many big American games. Complexity versus very games at DreamHack. Then roll all the way back to, well, we were talking about earlier with Jason. Let's go all the way back to 2004 and 3D versus SK. It can happen. Americans deliver on Inferno.
I wish I knew why as well, if there's like a special thing about it, but...
Because God blesses America.
We're going there right now. It's getting late. Even hearing the Scoots like getting a little bit riled up. He might tweet that one out, but...
So we've got 40 seconds left to get this one underway. Where's your money on this?
Game of Throws, for me, I'm going to go for Fnatic. I'm reckoning Fnatic can step up here. I think it's down on their individual players. They've had a shock. They've had a bit of a surprise. I think it's now time they go, all right, guys, we can't lose this. JW kicks it up a gear. They've got the players that can do it. But then again, Dazed, he's a classic. If he's in the right mentality, as you mentioned before, a lot of these guys can drag their team through on that kind of mentality alone. But whether or not they can do it, I do not know. But just to take you guys through the lineups, in case you hadn't seen them somehow, obviously Fnatic, Devilwalk, Flusher, the ever-incredible JW, who is always best, Pronax and Schneider, and then for iBUYPOWER, Adren, Anger, AZK, Daze, and Skadoodle. So there's so much talent within these lineups. It's very hard to call, and a lot of it comes down to mentality, I feel, at this moment. A lot to prove.
Khan's got a big role to play. What was Khan saying after that last map? How did he get that team up and going? I'm going to go for iBUYPOWER because I went out there with the sweeping generalization
so that
Americans like Inferno, or Americans deliver on Inferno. So I'm just going to follow that through and say that iBUYPOWER are going to win this. But phenomenal situation. One of these two teams is going home. Take us away on the pistol round.
Well, we are already seeing quite a stack coming out from iBUYPOWER towards B. 3 players present, and Dazed already opening up, finding Schneider there, and you are seeing the immediate reaction from them backing away, but it's not helping when Flusher is just pushing the hell up. And you can imagine the confidence either of these teams will gain from just this one round. So vital after such a surprising loss for both teams just moments ago. So hopefully they can muster themselves back into the kind of right mentality here, and Fnatic on that T side now, looking like they still want to hit that B side. They are not messing around here. The smokes are coming in, and we still see Adren and Anger creating a lovely crossfire, but Pronax is breaking through. JW in a great spot as well. The bomb has been picked up and dropped down by Adren, so iBUYPOWER are holding on here. They're tucked so deep into the site, and actually Adren is really doing work at the moment. 2 already as they flooded right towards him and look at this spot. Lovely positioning, but still Flusher will find him, and now Anger in a little bit of trouble, but still we do see iBUYPOWER with the numbers advantage until that moment right there. But JW on little to no health, and Skadoodle comes in with the mop to clean up the rest of that round. And actually, iBUYPOWER, as you mentioned, Americans, they seem to like this map, and they held that really well. They
did in the end. They pulled it out, and if you want to go through the momentum, having had a horrendous T side on Nuke, they did then only lose 2 rounds on their own CT side. They won 8 in a row. They did pick it up, and now they picked themselves up the pistol round here on CT Inferno against Fnatic. So interesting stuff. We are going to have a roller coaster of 45 minutes ahead of us, so stick with us and enjoy the fun. We thank you very much for sticking with us all the way through to the wee hours here in Katowice, Poland, as $250,000 are up for grabs here in the EMS One finals. We'll be ready to bring this through you the whole weekend long, as AZK will rattle off a few shots. He's got incoming. With the exception of Flusher, the Fnatic side have committed to going up mid and towards A, but Schneider's going to debate about helping Flusher out and goes up the banana walkway to help him out. It's Adren that's sat waiting to see action with Pronax coming his way, and AZK's there as well. Let's see whether they will see that action. No, reversal and full rotation. There's going to be 4 players going up banana, and it'll be Dazed who will see some action. Anger first to frag, second to frag as well. Got himself 2. Adren helped himself to Pronax on the other side. It's JW that was doing the damage, but he's now out. It's all on Flusher, and he does have the bomb, but he's between a rock and a very, very hard place, as Fnatic will, in theory, lose this round, and a successful pistol round conversion for iBUYPOWER. Good work from them, 2-0. Confidence will be returning.
Yeah, and losing 1 player, Anger also picked up the 2 kills initially as well, so they're keeping quite clean in this one. They're not losing unnecessary players. The first round, a little bit sloppy. It was not a clean sweep, but they certainly made up for it there. Solid hold, and their patience was put to the limit. We saw that double, the fake coming out, a bit of a double as well. They sent 2 players up Banana initially, swung back and forth, but finally committed towards B, and, well, it was handled. So, 3-2 split from the CTs. We are seeing Dazed and Anger getting a little bit more aggressive down towards Banana. It's certainly toying with the idea of it, but backing away nevertheless. Sticking with those pharmacists for now. A couple of shots coming back and forth, but Dazed will remain unscathed and back away. So, a little bit of a slower round coming out once again, and we are seeing Fnatic stacking up right where we were just watching then, and only Devilwalk really roaming through those apartments. The 4 other players very much looking towards that B site as the beautiful X-ray that is being called for so much will display to us. Oh, that smoke's lovely. Just going to hold it back even longer. No one wants to go walking into that one. The flashes are there, but I do like my iBUYPOWER constantly seem in control, even though they may not be on the attacking side that generally allows that. They always keep a good firm grip on this. So maybe they could deal with this. I think they've got a good idea where these guys are. We are seeing Flusher now edging towards them. Anger has picked him up. He goes for the second, goes for the third. These guys really doing damage. There's 4. He could probably get a 5th, and he's going to do it. Nice, clean round from Anger. Yeah, they're against the pistol, but they certainly made it look easy. Bearing in mind, this is Fnatic. They won the last big tournament like this, and they made it look easy. So certainly a bit of an upset so far. But then again, first 3 rounds after the pistol, it can be expected, but this is doing it in style.
Hey, you pick up an ace, you pick up an ace. If I got an ace in a $250,000 tournament, I'd be texting my mum within 5 seconds. So we'll see. The response will be, "What's an ace? You playing poker again?" As Fnatic now on a vital buy round for them there. First in their T side, grenade from Anger finishes off Flusher like a basketball swoosh down to that right-hand side, and that'll leave JW to reverse back towards T-Spawn, pick himself up the bomb. The other Fnatic players are down by A. Devilwalk will lead the assault. He pops his head out through the middle there. There's smoke covering as he just rattles off a few shots in towards him, and now Adrent will lie in wait. Anger's pushed a long way down that banana walkway, says, "Guys, nothing this way at the moment. You can expect some incoming," and suddenly he'll sound the alarm. He got caught throwing that nade, and now JW's pushed through, and the B side is open. Dazed is going to try and make a quick rotation to close it off, but he's gone around the back. Pronex, JW, and Devilwalk are all in there. Schneider does get himself the frag onto AZK. Skadoodle and Dazed help themselves to a frag apiece. It's Devilwalk and JW up against 3 very angry Americans here as they look to reclaim their site. And JW has taken a slither of damage, as has Devilwalk, and Devilwalk's down and out. Good work, Dazed. Can he finish off the job? Oh, yes he can. Excellent work from Dazed. And iBUYPOWER deliver. First buy round Fnatic has been swatted.
And you know what? I was about to call out Dazed for overly rotating then, but that man just went straight back and handled business. He left Anger there. Anger got aggressive. He pushed down Banana. Completely fine. The smoke was there to support him, but as you said, caught out by throwing a nade. Nothing you can do. It's the most frustrating thing in the world, but that retake coming in was so well done. These guys are looking really focused in this game, and I credit to them for keeping this one going. I can't wait to see how this kind of progresses. Fnatic going straight back at it though. They're straight back with the AKs. They're not messing around, and it might be time to try an A, because B has been a disaster to this point. They've kind of toyed with the idea of A, but they've always kind of swung back around, maybe left Devilwalk towards the apartments, but that's about it for their commitment here. And this time they seem a little bit happier to try it out. Obviously, they can't get down Banana too easy. Now those deep smokes are landing from Anger. He's pushing down Banana. Flusher still toying with the idea of maybe making his presence known, but AZK could be in for a world of action if Fnatic decide to push here. And you can see Flusher there just toying with the idea of it pretty much on his own, not really committing. It's a matter of finding that pick, but you can see Fnatic really are lining up. Skadoodle lays in wait, as does the others. AZK has been found, as has Skadoodle. A is looking like a viable option, as Adrent is really the only man there. He's going to be caught in the heels by JW, and A will be in the hands of Fnatic. And the last 2 remaining players of iBUYPOWER have a long walk ahead of them. And my god, do Fnatic know that. These 2 players have been making it hurt for the last couple of rounds. They're not going to give this one away, surely. Dazed and Anger, there's barely a routine. You got Pronex, you got Flusher, all watching the pushes. Flusher by mid, watching Banana. He knows they're still on this side. He knows they've not crossed through. They knows they're not at CT Arch. So he just needs to play cautiously. He can't overextend. He could be struggling, and the frustration just peering through there. He will be picked up by Anger, getting a little bit overzealous almost, and trying to challenge out. Let's bear in mind, Devilwalk and Schneider are really down low, and I wouldn't want to fancy my chances in this one, but we are seeing this round coming to a close eventually. Bomb is down. You can see Fnatic really drawing back. They know they're safe here now. And they needed this. You know, A was a vital round, and thank you, Steel. That is a beautiful line, much better than the boxes you were drawing on the map. And yeah, you can see Fnatic do manage to retain those guns, and they will be looking for those next round. And they needed that. They needed to break the defense. Otherwise, you start feeling like it's impossible.
Massive round, as you say. They rolled the dice on that one and came up trumps. And iBUYPOWER pegged back, and their confidence will just be kept in check as we head to 4-1 and round number 6 now underway. What do the iBUYPOWER side have in their locker now as Fnatic are on the board? It's Adren who pushes out into middle. Saw absolutely nothing, was probably a little surprised by that, as AZK will poke his out as well. You got Fnatic just going all A. There are two players on B, and this is a 5-on-3 here for Fnatic. If they can make the entry, they get the first frag. AZK's putting up a fight. He's going to get himself 2 before he's finally down to the back by Pronax. Great work, AZK. He's done his job. What about the rest of iBUYPOWER? Can they retake with just Anger and Dazed against 3 fully health Swedes? If they don't, they're going to find themselves in trouble. As Dazed will nade out. This is a tough retake, but they will show no fear as Anger pushes in. Clock's already ticked a long way down, but they're still going to commit. Schneider gets himself the frag onto Anger, and if it wasn't good enough 2v1 Dazed, then it wasn't good enough 2-on-3, as what I was trying to allude to wasn't a good retake. In the end, proved to be so, but they get away with a gun. And that's going to be 4-2 Fnatic on the board, and the Swedes will feel a little bit of pressure removed.
Yeah, and I don't want to call out any players right now. This is still very early doors, but Skadoodle's made very little impact holding A, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Scoots actually told me earlier he's been playing, you know, well, we hadn't had internet for some time leading up to this event, so they've been kind of struggling to get that practice in with him on board, and he can be a real key factor. You know, Dunn used to sing this man's praises all day long, but right now he's been very quiet. He seems to kind of just get mopped up by A, and likes of AZK does real work, but not seeing that much from him. So maybe a little bit braver from Fnatic now, trying to re-hit up that B site, maybe try their luck again, and well, they've got their answer there. Flush's nade, finding Anger straight away, allowing Daze to kind of get a little bit more aggressive, not maybe to the extent of Anger usually does, but he's certainly involved in this. Over a spray down, and Fnatic are off. Not fancying that one. They've got the opener. They've got time to play with now, so I can imagine it will be AZK and Skadoodle firmly tucked in on the side. JW looking for that peak, and JW can be such a beast. You have to really see him find maybe his footing in this one. Still sitting at 7-4, so not a bad game, but certainly not the JW we know and love at occasion. But a very passive iBUYPOWER here. Not challenging out, not going for the peak. They obviously have a player disadvantage, but Daze just holding the angle, holding that 1 pixel, does find Flusher, so bringing it back all even. Avenging his fallen teammate, AZK does the damage with that pistol, finds Pronax, and also spots out Schneider and a good couple of others. Daze immediately getting around towards that CT arch, but the T side have already broken through. It's a 3v3. Fnatic, maybe a little bit of better HP as well overall, I'm not too sure on that one. But the bomb has gone down, and iBUYPOWER now in a little bit of trouble. Daze comes out fighting, trying to get the spam down. He knows JW's low, but it doesn't matter. JW does find Adren, leaving it in a 2v2 now, back and forth, but that clock is ticking. They need to make this move, but Devilwalk and Schneider hold on again. And Fnatic, they found their way in, and it is that A site.
Well, it is. I mean, that was an eco round for iBUYPOWER, so, you know, you can hold certain points for it. However, interestingly enough, for Fnatic, what I really enjoy about them is they hunt in packs.
Yes.
They're down in confidence right now. The game against Reason will have absolutely shot them in confidence, but they're always together. Now, and that's why they've had so much success in A, because religiously there have been 2 iBUYPOWER players in B. So it's been 5-on-3, 5-on-3. And you're asking a lot of players to do something, you know, very, very special round and round again. Dazed and Anger hold each other's hands on B every time, and if you don't get the pick, which iBUYPOWER just have done, then it's really difficult. And Anger will fire in towards that smoke. Didn't really know what he was shooting at, but will be happy to learn that he's done 45 points of damage to Flusher. And with the frag of JW, now's the time for this iBUYPOWER passive defense to work. Flusher's keeping 2 players occupied, though. You're going to see it again. It's going to be a 3-on-3 going in towards A, as Flusher leaves those 2 players on the banana walkway. who eventually will get a little angry and want to push. But Flusha's now going to make their way up. It's going to be a 4-on-3 entry in towards the A site. And iBUYPOWER, despite having the frag, have the numbers against them. Skadoodle gets himself the kill onto Schneider. Nice work for iBUYPOWER, and they will look to help themselves to another. Pronax finishes off AZK. Now, Anger and Dazed move past Banana and are about to join the party. But already, Devilwalk is homing in on that side on the other side, whilst Flusha sits himself in the corner, waiting to try and anchor this attack from the back, but Dazed has done the damage. Devilwalk and Pronax down, only one man left standing, and it is Flusha, and iBUYPOWER must convert this round, and Flusha will get out of there and hold on to his AK. It's going to go to 5-3. Better from iBUYPOWER because they got the pick. This religious 2 players on B is dependent on that first frag.
And I'm glad you highlighted that. They're the first team, well, Anger did find Flusha in the end, so nice round all in all, but I'm glad you pointed that out because we watched, a couple of other games on this map, and they were so quick on the rotates. The American team seemed quite static. It is always, number disadvantages on the A side, but how quickly can you rotate down Banana? How quickly can you assume that Fnatic will be going back to A? Obviously, these questions will be in the iBUYPOWER minds, but, it does seem the first team was very reluctant to have that floating player back and forth. Obviously, Daze then really did make his presence known, but it took his time, but still. Seeing Fnatic still running with guns, still fairly comfortable, and obviously iBUYPOWER picking up the Fnatic AKs, getting quite involved here. Adren is very close to the action. He does get the spray down, but Schneider quickly replying, and AZK can see none of this. That smoke is completely blocking his view, but Daze will be holding the angle, holding the push. They know they're in between this. There's nowhere else they can go, but Pronax has found Skadoodle and is bringing it into the favor of Fnatic, forcing an aggressive peek out of AZK, finding Pronax down mid, but still, 3v3, danger can be around any corner, and at the moment, once again, numbers game, 3v1, they are constantly pushing these sides at a disadvantage. Anger, big player, can he go big again? He's going to get the first, that's Devilwalk down, doesn't get the follow-up onto Schneider, so now we do see the chance for Fnatic to get the bomb down and get slightly set up. They're not taking their time, they're not rushing this one, they're going to wait on that plant, they're not rushing at all actually. Bomb finally does go down, and at this moment, Dazed has already closed in fairly, comfortably. Flusha finding AZK, leaving on 1v2. Dazed went big before. He's going to have to do it again right now. Gets the spray down, but does not get the kill onto Schneider. And Schneider that round picking up 3 for himself, really pushing his team forward. And Fnatic starting to look a little bit better here.
Yeah, they did. Interestingly to analyze that those 2 B players again for iBUYPOWER. This time when that first frag came in from Fnatic, because it came in so early, Dazed was like, right, sod it, I'm getting over there ASAP. Yep. And they realized that meant there was only 1 over at B, and they did a nice rotate to punish it. So 5-on-4, iBUYPOWER and Fnatic are looking pretty tit for tat here. You'd expect the CT side to go in 1 or 2 up at the half, and we'll see what happens as it looks like it's going to be a bit of a B feeler from Flusha here. He's gone a long way up. Pronax has the bomb and has followed him. There's 3 Fnatic players up on this banana walkway, and that'll be frag number 1. Daze just walked further and further into the center of Flusha's crush there, and he'll help himself to that one. Now with Adren coming around to help, it leaves 2 on either site. JW anchoring middle and Devilwalk pushing down towards A on the other side of the map. And but with JW moving that anchor over towards the B site, that's where they're going to commit, that's where they're going to push. Flusha can't get himself his second frag. Adren delivers. Nice frag from him, crucial frag from him. And now let's see what Fnatic got to offer. JW gets himself that one onto Anger. Anger got caught with his shoelaces untied, if you will, and Skadoodle down by Devilwalk, and that leaves just 2, Adren and AZK. And Pronax moving that bomb around. AZK gets a vital frag onto JW. If they can dispatch of Schneider, they're on a 2-on-2. But they are heavily occupied by Schneider. They don't know about the rotation. They've no idea where Pronax is. And it's AZK who suddenly smells a rat as the bomb goes down on that A side. Adren still has a note. Neither of them have side. Adren's waiting for Schneider to come out. He's caught there. AZK also caught, and they're deciding, you know what, it's safer to get our weapons out of this one. And that's probably the right decision, as that'll leave them at 5-5. No reason to really throw much away on this, and that will give them plenty of ammunition for the 11th round.
And I love that fake play. The way they just kind of pulled it around to A, and to be fair to iBUYPOWER, they had no idea it was happening. Completely caught out, as you mentioned. And, well, they do manage to retain their guns at the very least, as will Fnatic with 3 members standing. 5-5. This game's getting a lot closer than I thought. At the very start, I was thinking, Jesus Christ, Fnatic, what the hell has happened? Previous champions of the tournament, very similar to this. kind of made to look like fools. But iBUYPOWER, you know, not necessarily keeping that consistency here. They've been kind of forced back to get those Famis's in the mix. And there's just a pistol there for Anger, actually, and obviously those 2 retained weapons. So not the ideal setup going into the 11th round, but we're going to have to see if this one pays off. It does seem as though Fnatic taking their time here, not really fully committing to either side, but already a Dren finding JW.
And a massive frag that, with JW down,
kill.
no anchor.
Exactly, we know how important this man can be. He's literally led Fnatic on occasion to glorious times, but let's see if they can make it work still. Obviously, Flusher still very much alive and kicking, and they are taking their time here. JW being the top fragger so far for Fnatic, obviously. Gravity of that is going to be pretty big, but the smokes are coming over and still only 2 players for iBUYPOWER, even considering the site. The counter flashes have come through, so a little bit of a slower play coming from Flusher, but they are nevertheless making their way, and actually, they're not going straight towards site. Pronax does try and get the bomb down, and he's done it right with Daze next to him. That was unbelievable stuff, and iBUYPOWER were just smoked out of that game, and right now it's still a 4v5, but it's an afterplant on a site with 2 players from iBUYPOWER present on. That was beautiful stuff from Fnatic, but can they handle this close quarters combat now? And iBUYPOWER looked a little bit dazed and confused at this one, as Flusher has found Skadoodle, Devilwart picking up Anger. AZK only really player at the moment to make that impact, other than the initial kill going down. And now 2 against 1. Can a Dren go big? He has got the first. Time now is his biggest enemy. He's going to have to get the hell away from there. And credit to Fnatic. That was gutsy play. They're going to lose out in the end on Pronax, but bomb went off, and they got the bomb down with 2 players in the site still.
They did. It really interesting because it was a save for iBUYPOWER. But the problem was, having got that first pick, you expect so much more. But having got it and knowing they were on a save, they went and sat so deep in both sites. They had no vision. They didn't know the B push was coming. They saw that they were exchanging the grenades, but that didn't convince them either because they had no vision. Every player was sat on both A and B within the site. And that meant they just didn't know what was going on. And in the end, it was too little too late. And that was a round they could have won in the end. But it's going to be Fnatic in the lead for the first time. And it'll be 6-5 to the Swedes. As, it's going to be a heavy stack on the B site, and it's not going to pay off for them. A's been opened up, and iBUYPOWER caught between a rock and a hard place. They have kind of... They saved that last round out, and it leaves them with an AK that they'll try and hold on to with a Dren, but financially they're between, you know, do we go all in, or do we try and save out and try and make a big push at the end of the round? If Fnatic get out of this half in the lead, they will be absolutely laughing, because considering they were 4 down at one point, to have turned it round to a 6-5, they're smiling from ear to ear. So this is going to be 7-5, and this iBUYPOWER buy round has to stop that rot.
Definitely does. Do or die almost. You'd say, you know, this is a CT-sided map, not maybe as drastically as others, but with the T-side starting to build that momentum, build that confidence, and start that lead really growing for themselves, you've got to start asking those questions, what are we doing wrong here? And iBUYPOWER tried to switch it up. They stacked that B side out, they left Skadoodle on A, but, you know, sometimes it just doesn't go well for you, and obviously there's always a chance. But you are going to see them running now fully stacked out, full gear. No, actually missing a couple of head armors. You know, not everyone having that, but they have everything else. You know, they've got the Molotovs in there. They've got pretty much everything you'd want in this mixture. I think a couple of decoys. We are going to see what they can do now. Obviously, Fnatic have a pretty much up in the air choice. They can do whatever they want. They've got the advantage on the T side. Nice nade from a Dren then. Does manage to chip away a good chunk of HP.
5 players.
Really good work. And JW down to 30 HP as well. Oh, what Dren literally toying with the idea of taking them back. That flash really held him back, as now Flusher can break through. They've got the complete control of CT Arch. AZK has to play from the site here. He has found Pronax. Skadoodle should be able to back him up. But right now, Fnatic have the choice of free reign, and Devilwart coming around the side is going to make matters worse as he finds AZK and completely cuts out Skadoodle with that smoke. Fnatic are being systematic with this one, but can they find Daze and Skadoodle? HP is low. This is possible. Daze has found Devilwart. The bomb is yet to go down as well. Let's bear that in mind here. That is making its way over towards B. Daze has a good chance to get the rotate on. He's already doing it. Finding Flusher. JW on 4 HP. Schneider on 21. This can go either way right now. They're turning it. Skadoodle finally kicks into action. One man standing there. Schneider has to go pretty big at the moment. He's going to somehow dig deep enough to pull this one through. 21 HP against an almost fully stacked out iBUYPOWER. But he has got a good time in there. That's what he wanted. Can he make use of it though? 2 players now on the site. He has caught a glimpse of one, doesn't get the clean shot he wanted, but he has taken down Daze. Can he turn this one? Skadoodle goes aggressive and it pays off, picks up the kill, and a beautifully played turnaround from iBUYPOWER. Thank you very much, Daze. You just did the job there with Skadoodle in tow, and that's what we expected to see.
Well, it's a Dren. You see that stat on the screen right there, 208 damage with grenades. It was brilliant. You saw the best and the worst of a Dren. He hit that, he then followed up with a shot onto JW, and then he self-flashed. And, you know, that was the absolute best and worst. However, iBUYPOWER picked up an expensive round for them, but they did do exactly what we said they needed to. They stopped the rot, and the moment they had their opportunity, they took it, and we'll see. Fnatic, though, had a lot of money in the bank, having won so many rounds in a row, that they will be coming straight back at them. And big opportunity for them now as Skadoodle will push, and Dazed is going to come all the way over towards A. Much quicker rotate from him, and Flusher just keeping Anger occupied, but with Dazed over in A, they've kind of decided that the early assaults have always been to A, and if they need to counter-rotate, they can do it as 4 rather than together. Dren's going to see a lot of action here. How he could go for another one of those nades now. Again, kind of self-flashes, and they pull back. He fires in towards that smoke. Again, no real eyes from iBUYPOWER. Don't know about this rotation that's happening, and Anger is just going to... Again, Anger's so far deep in the site that they've got no idea what's coming their way. That means that... the 2 players at there, so it's a 2-on-3 if you can't see on the minimap. 2 players at A, 3 moving up towards B for Fnatic. Still haven't lost a man on either side, but the 3 on A are going to go up against an Anger who is, well, about to get very angry because he has no idea. Pronax is going to come through. They've actually pushed all the way down towards T-Spawn. This is a really interesting move, and it hasn't paid for them. AZK and Daze pick up the frags. Skadoodle chimes in with one. Devilwalk, the only one who wants to back up, but iBUYPOWER, man for man, have just done better this round. It's Pronax, the last man standing, does have the bomb, may well be able to put it down and go into a 1 versus 3. All of those players don't have as much health as he has combined, so he's got himself a slither of an opportunity. Makes it an easier one with the frag onto AZK. Adren and Skadoodle need to come at him together, otherwise they will lose out here. And Pronax down to 26 points of health. And here come the Americans now. Skadoodle falls, 1-on-1. Adren, can he deliver for them? Pronax still going strong, and he does deliver. 1-on-3, put the bomb down, and the Americans came at them, and he bit at them one by one. And Pronax hauls Fnatic into an 8-6 lead.
Considering he was one of the players who was struggling to break into this game, that is a momentum changer if I've ever seen one. That's just dragged them back, sky-high confidence. They were starting to build up, 8-6, perfect stuff just before the final round of the first half, but they go into the favorable side. That's game-changing right there. This means trouble for iBUYPOWER. They're stuck on pistol, they've got a Famas in the mix. It's not looking pretty, and I can imagine this will be a 9-6 scoreline. And right now, Fnatic pretty much proving that one true. Skadoodle did get one in the end, but that play, my word, that's something to look back on. And this scoreline is not looking too good for iBUYPOWER. You know, they're on the favorable side. They had a great start as well. They started to really get their confidence going, but
considering they were 4 up,
they were.
Of the then remaining 11 rounds, they won only 2. That's the biggest stat here. Fnatic showing that they were able to dig deep, they were able to turn that scoreboard around, and they were able to show why they won DreamHack Winter and the $250,000. So reports of their demise have been greatly exaggerated, or at least at halftime.
Yeah, for now. I'm not calling too much just yet. But still, the one thing that I'm looking at the Fnatic lineup, normally JW will be at the top of that scoreboard with an obscene scoreline. You know, like the get rights, the kind of ridiculous one-man army. It's actually quite an even spread at the moment. You know, Pronax, who we saw doing wonders, is still very much near to the bottom. It's 11 to 8 is the biggest difference. So
JW got picked 2-3 rounds first man. They're if you could call it an anti-JW strat, it worked. Now, what's interesting here that I didn't like about iBUYPOWER, it was individual talent that got them out of every problem. They had no map knowledge the entire game. They sat really deep. They had no one kind of roaming. If we compare it to the map we just saw, Complexity versus Mystic, where either Kenny S or Nothing was roaming around the entire middle of the map, always knew which area was free, which area wasn't. This is the polar opposite. The CT side of iBUYPOWER had no map knowledge, and that played against them a number of times when they had to rotate quickly or slowly or however.
Yeah, they just didn't have that, little bit of a spark to them. They seemed very static in my eyes. Occasionally we saw Daze doing something incredible. Or Anger, there was that one man who could occasionally step up, but it was far and it wasn't a regular occurrence. Players like Kenny S, nothing. You get right, you're roaming players who do the damage, you get that information, get the opportunity to do something obscene, do something incredible. But right
and the information's the key point.
It is.
Whether the player then goes Rambo and actually delivers, that's not his
Completely
job.
different.
Some form of information so that the 5 can act is a key part. But hey, iBUYPOWER not out of this game yet, so why don't you take us away?
Yeah, not in a long shot. Rock and a hard place, according to Steel there, just being written on the minimap. Thank you very much. 69 is the scoreline, however. Fnatic are in the lead now on the more favourable CT side. This could go badly, as we mentioned previously, for iBUYPOWER, but still all up in the air. AZK has been tagged up, though, which is probably not the ideal start, and, well, JW is going to make it worse. Not able to get shut down this time initially. He's going to get the opener here. And we are seeing Anger down and out. Such a key player for iBUYPOWER before, but still early doors, and Daze in a perfect spot, actually, being able to roam all that way around. JW and Schneider completely focused on the other side of A. Daze has got behind the 3 players of Fnatic who are sitting on that B side. If AZK, Skadoodle, and Adren can kind of slow it down, play very carefully, play this consistent, patient game, Daze can do real damage. No member of Fnatic is looking at him, and here comes the surprise, but he might have just absolutely flopped that. Finally, Skadoodle will kind of take me out of this mess, but still, this is brilliant stuff from iBUYPOWER, and a huge flaw for Fnatic, but can they hold on? Flusher doing the work, but still players everywhere. Oh, lovely shot from Flusher, but not enough as Daze will finally come through and come up good, leaving it in a 2v2, but Skadoodle left on such small HP, just 10 HP, and JW will make the most of it onto Daze, picking him up, and there's Schneider coming in. Fnatic, they made the mistake, but they made up for that one.
They did make the mistake, but what was interesting and what I love about the American teams is it's just individual brute force that forces these mistakes. Dazed, 2 massive frags, 2 really hard frags that he picked up there. But yes, Fnatic showed the guile to close this one out. They're in 10-6. They're in a really powerful position now. This is almost theirs to lose. They're not going to quite go to that point just yet, but almost theirs to lose at 10-6 with what should be a conversion here. Skadoodle gets himself a frag onto Pronax there that you feel he wasn't anticipating, and JW will dart back. So Fnatic know that they're up against a bit of a hodgepodge push here from the Americans, as they've not really committed either way. They've got themselves an aggressive early frag. They've rattled off a few shots here, there, and everywhere, and had a few sights on the Fnatic players, but still have 3 players on the banana walkway, 2, 1 in middle, 1 on the far right down towards A. JW is the next man that's going to see action. Let's see whether that happens, as Schneider will go through. JW does pick himself up that frag on towards Anger, and now is going to look for the next man pushing up towards B, and that's the information that they weren't having on the American CT side. They push through now. Skadoodle gets himself a frag onto Flusher. Schneider will return fire, and there's Devil Walk to go through, and Fnatic will get 3 frags. Adren, the last man standing, making this as hard as he possibly can. Still has health and has a Famus against only 2 players, one of whom has 13 health. Not impossible, not easy either, as he dances around that bomb site with only 20 seconds left. Clock as much an enemy as anybody else, and JW a more vocal and violent enemy than a clock.
Most certainly, and this is getting to crunch time now for iBUYPOWER. Obviously, they lost down the initial pistol in the second half, and you feel the pain off the back of that. But Fnatic sitting on 11 rounds now. That's when you start having to just go, okay, guys, we take this round by round. We don't look at that top scoreline. We do what we can in the moments and hope that it pays off, because it starts looking scary here. Still, they are running with just the pistols. They haven't gone for the armor that we see occasionally being kind of donned by the French, and maybe not going down the Titan route, but we are seeing a little bit more aggressive Pronax and Devil Walk down by Banana. They are starting to make the damage done, and maybe could be a little bit more cautious here. They could get caught out. They've done a good chunk of damage, though. AZK, Adren, and Skadoodle really tagged up here. Schneider did get a little bit of damage towards him, but minimal compared to what was happening, and JW doing what he does best, finding Adren. And I'm liking the way Fnatic are playing now. They look pretty solid in this, and obviously up against pistols, it's not too hard to look like that. Still, they're playing carefully. Not yet losing a man is exactly how they want to play here. They do want to give them a glimmer of hope in this one. Bit of a flash coming over. 56 seconds still on the board, so enough time to be played with by both sides. And the nade does manage to catch Daze a little bit later on. Schneider just toying back and forth, and they're not just challenging flat out, they're being careful here. Flush are finding Daze there, and I like that little back and forth. Not, overly peeking, they played it smart. And now just AZK and Skadoodle left alive, and gotta say it, Devil Walk and Pronax making it look easy. Fnatic looking patient and disciplined as well.
It's a long, long way to come from Murica to Poland to go home on day one.
Yeah.
That is a very distinct reality, as Fnatic are now just 4 rounds away from victory. iBUYPOWER need to deliver something special here, as the gap becomes a chasm between the pair of them. And Devil Walk going super aggressive, pushing down. Fnatic rolling the dice hard here. They get first frag, but lose the second. JW traded, and let's see, Skadoodle in there gets himself the second frag onto Schneider, and now we'll push around the back. Those 3 players going on the right-hand side. Fnatic still going aggressive, no sign of pulling back, and it's going to cost them here. AZK gets himself 2 frags, and now it's all on Devil Walk. Helped himself to the first, but is picked off at the second. Really interesting stuff there from Fnatic. After charging down middle, just didn't fall back. They got themselves to first, and you feel at that point they've made their message, they might pull back, but no, they stayed up, and it cost them the round. But they have a few rounds that they were able to gamble with. It's going to be 12-7.
And literally the round prior to that, I said, they're playing patiently, they're playing very carefully, and no, they heard me saying, they're like, screw that, we're just going to go charge at them.
But I quite like it.
Yeah, why not? You know what I mean? It gave Skadoodle a lovely little shutdown for now. They're picking up 2 back-to-back and then picking up the third as well, but we are now seeing iBUYPOWER with a good set of guns. They got the full head armor, but same can be said for Fnatic to an extent. We do see JW with that AWP, but Devil just a fammer, so a little bit of disparity in the money system now for Fnatic, maybe feeling a little bit of the pinch, but we'll see if that one comes to fruition now, as we are seeing iBUYPOWER eyeing up that A site. Schneider, JW, and Flusher actually waiting on this one, so they could be in trouble. Pronax and Devil Walk biting at the bit to get involved on the rotate here. We are seeing the push coming into play. Dazed and the boys now leading around. Flusher might have to hold this one pretty damn early, because they are really gaining pace towards this A site. They've actually crossed through, but will he get around behind them? Nice play from Daze. 2 fantastic shots coming out from him, and Adren making the pain really a factor now, as JW and Pronax can do little to nothing here. Not in a position to make an upset, and I love that play from iBUYPOWER. Smokes were perfect, the play was perfect, and they were so focused on this. This is when you those sloppy rounds where you run down banana, where you run down mid, and you get aggressive, and you lose out. Fnatic might start kicking themselves for this if they allow iBUYPOWER back into this. We know what these American teams can be like. Emotionally driven, truly just brought together by that real hype they can get going, but if iBUYPOWER do get that behind them, they get that confidence, then there really could be a game on our hands here. Bomb will be going off fairly unscathed. iBUYPOWER, excluding Adren, will be able to stay alive. JW does retain the AWP. Pronax with an M4, but still, this is starting to heat up a bit. 8 to 12, it's not a huge gap to now fill.
Fantastic double round there from iBUYPOWER. One of them, bought out of Fnatic's gamble to push down mid and try and, force the agenda, force iBUYPOWER onto the back foot. The next, through just a great textbook A take. So if they can make that 3, then life starts to look a little better. And look at what Fnatic haven't got. They haven't got a lot of weapons. It's JW that's going to have a massive round. He's actually isolated, pushing all the way down on A, but he will see action. Dazed and Anger are over there, and they like this 3-2 split where AZK, Skadoodle, and Adren will go together, and then Dazed and Anger will go together. B's wide open for Adren if he wants to go for it. We're losing numbers on the other side, though. It's Anger that's going to have to deliver, and we're onto a 2 versus 2 out of nowhere. JW picks off Adren. He didn't know that B was wide open for him, and now Anger up against 2, Schneider and JW. Schneider's probably going to try and find himself one of those weapons that was down. If he doesn't have one already, I'm not sure, as he'll go down, and Anger is going to have to deliver here. He can't think about saving, he can't think about falling back. He has to deliver a round with 43 seconds to go. JW, he's going to line him up as he tries to make this crossover as well. This is going to be interesting. Schneider's there too. They've both got eyes on the bomb, and Anger is going to come right between the crosshairs, and JW will drop him. And iBUYPOWER could not afford to lose an eco to Fnatic, and they did.
JW best is all I'm going to say. That guy just did some beautiful shots, and he's such an unorthodox AWP. The first one was in apartments at the very bottom of it. He adapted immediately. It was just back-to-back beautiful play from that man, and you know, when he gets going, I still think he can be that star factor. He can be that key player who just kind of steps it up a gear, and he's always got that 10% somewhere remaining. But we are going to see iBUYPOWER back on the buys. You know, they're fully stacked out right now. Same can be said for Fnatic, so it's a fairly even round in this, but the nades landing early on for Fnatic really are starting to chip away, and we are seeing already AZK looking a little bit worse. We're down to 79 HP, and that 3-man stack on Banana from Fnatic could really cause some trouble here. And iBUYPOWER are stacking up a fair bit. AZK does go for the peak, however, takes down JW. Brave play up for the last round, and Devil looks like he wants to pick up the mantle and get right towards that smoke. Any player who comes forward could be in trouble, or even just waits in the smoke could be in trouble. There's the reply, so back all even now. 4v4, 1 minute left, and not a lot of ground gained by iBUYPOWER, however. They're still down by the bottom mid. They've got 2 players split over by A.
Well, what they've done is they've forced the rotation. So if they were to make a quick move, A's only got 1, and they could make a 4-on-1 in towards A. Problem is they're not making a quick move.
No, most certainly not. The Devilwalk and Prox both getting aggressive, though. You know, Fnatic look like they're losing that kind of calm attitude. They want to get this one over and done with, and iBUYPOWER like, okay, you run into our crosshairs. We are fine with that. Skadoodle funding Pronax. They're taking the hard route. As you said, there was an easier site to hit, but they thought, okay, let's take B, hold the rotate. We can lock that player on A down and just focus on B. But Flasher is still here. He's still kicking. He gets one, but can't convert anything other than that. Anger will punish the man who was locking that one down on his own, as now Schneider. What can you do here? You got a 1v3 after plant. The HP is not that low this time. Normally iBUYPOWER by this point have maybe 10, 20 HP just split across the board. But here, 46, 53, and 100. It's not something you want. I think Schneider's realizing that, saying, I'm just going to chill back here and let you take this one. And iBUYPOWER, they took the hard road, but it worked.
CS can be decided to sound like Lurpus. CS is decided by such a few number of rounds, and iBUYPOWER in the second half have won the decisive rounds. And that's with the exception of that last round where iBUYPOWER lost against Fnatic's Eco. They've had a fantastic T side, and that really has set us up where Fnatic still favorites, still just 3 rounds away from victory. But we'll be feeling a little bit of sweat. We'll be feeling a little bit of pressure. Remember, if you're just joining us, one of these 2 teams is going home. Whether it's the DreamHack champions or the Americans who have come a long, long way to play potentially just 2 games. It's a Dren and that AWP. First time we've seen an AWP from iBUYPOWER on this map. We'll rattle off a few shots. And that one shot, by just sounding out that there is an AWP, has pushed JW back. It has said to him, you know what, you can't boss the middle like you have done previously. So, if nothing else, it's changed the tone of things. As AZK's pushed up. We've got 3 on Banana, 1 in middle, and 1 all the way down on the right-hand side near A for iBUYPOWER. And again, it's Dazed and Anger separated out. They love this 3-2 split. And the only thing that can be said is that their opponents will know that. As Flusher gets himself the frag onto AZK as they try to make the push in. Adren and that AWP weren't able to get the frag. Flusher was able to pick up that first man unchallenged by the AWP and then fall back in towards that site. And they are committed now, and JW is coming from the back, and this is going to be a Swedish sandwich as iBUYPOWER do get themselves the first frag though. Devilwalk is down. Let's see whether they can do any more. Skadoodle gets picked off in the midst of that sandwich as Anger will go through. Adren's AWP now does pick off his opposite number, JW. Flusher will pick it up and he'll rattle off a few shots, but that flash forces him to retreat, and the bomb has to be planted soon by Dazed. Only 18 seconds left to go. Pronax out for the count. It's Schneider and Flusher to deliver here for Fnatic against 3. Bomb has been planted. There's Flusher. Dazed down, and he and Schneider against 2. Adren is going to get himself the next one as Flusher goes down. AWP on AWP. Adren has 1, and it's Schneider that will go down, and iBUYPOWER pull it back to a 3-round game, and Adren, big round for him. They made a gutsy call to add an AWP. They haven't had one in the entire match to date, and he delivered the frags. He took out his opposite number, and then he anchored the site.
That was stunning stuff. As you said, brave, you know, to finally introduce an AWP into the play, especially against a player like JW, who's renowned for being such a key factor, and only moments ago in a couple of rounds just gone, he picked up 3 himself, so Adren really doing the work there with that AWP. So still obviously running with that one, obviously doing well. I don't blame him. And the other thing I want to point out, those smokes really strangled Fnatic even in the afterplant, then really forcing them to always go into the awkward situation here. So we are going to see obviously iBUYPOWER fully geared out, fully kitted up against a Fnatic who pretty much have pistols, and that is literally it.
They've got to convert this time, though.
Very true. So, scoreline could be 11-13. The game is certainly not over yet. AZK, Anger, all doing their job perfectly. Flusher is the last man standing. And I think right now, all we can say is Fnatic, you've let this one slip here. You know, Flusher's still doing work, don't get me wrong. He's picked up Skadoodle, but I'm pretty sure that's all he's going to get right now as Dren will shut down the remaining threat. And we are now very, very close. As you said, that chasm is getting a little bit smaller now, round by round.
Very much. The Grand Canyon's got a bridge being built across it. And iBUYPOWER pull us back to a 2-round game as Fnatic start to drop a lot of rounds here. And in the second half, having won that pistol, have won very few of the gun rounds on their CT side, and that's a real issue. Then Dren versus JW is going to be a big, big fight. JW actually doesn't have an AWP this round. Take it back, going to be less of a fight this round. As they'll push in. Looking on the mini-map, only AZK occupying Banana Walkway. Dazed is going to get himself in on the action here. Gets himself 2 big frags. Schneider and Flusher down. Dazed delivers as iBUYPOWER now make their way in towards the A site, knowing that Dazed has done all the hard work. That's the third as JW goes down. Pronax eventually will stop the rot, but Fnatic are in real trouble here. Devilwalk and Pronax, the last 2 standing, maybe inclined to save, are inclined to save. iBUYPOWER are pulling us back to a 1-round game. And boy, oh boy, do we have some CS on our hands.
Absolutely insane stuff coming out from that one-man Daze. He's been important to this point. He's been getting big rounds, but that was huge. And once again, it wasn't easy kills. It wasn't just, you know, the occasional pick here and there. It was a face-first face check into these guys who are already waiting for him. And he still pulled it off. He's been, you know, such a key factor, even as, you know, the team leader, the shot caller within this lineup, and yet he's still doing the damage, and the game is on. And I can only imagine how much Fnatic are now kicking themselves for throwing away a couple of silly rounds here. That aggressive push down mid that probably wasn't necessary after having a beautifully calm round before where they held absolutely everyone still alive. Throwing that one away could now be literally the difference of them walking away in a secure position and possibly going out in the groups.
Dazed at 21, leading the way.
Wow, that's brilliant. So, you know, a lot of people will say they may not have their, you know, superstar players on occasion. They don't have what, you know, some may had. You know, we kind of even said it ourselves on the CT side. They were very static. On the T side, it's like a brand new team almost. They have turned the hell up. And we are seeing a bit of a mixed bag coming out from Fnatic. Flusher only really having a pistol beside him. A Famus in the mix there for Schneider as well, whereas obviously the T side enjoying the fact of money here, just completely geared out, completely kitted up. And we are seeing Dazed with that bomb. This time testing the waters down by second mid, not even sending a play towards B. Dren probably the furthest back member, back down by the bottom of mid, but the rest of them all lining up well as Dazed. The nade does come through from Fnatic. It has taken up, but nowhere near to the effect we've seen before. They're taking away, you know, 20, 30 HP here and there, but here comes the push from iBUYPOWER. Dazed leading the charge. He looks like he's hungry again for the same kills he got before. I think it's Schneider actually picking him up. It was Skadoodle who actually went down, so AZK does manage to find Flusher. Here comes the drill onto Schneider. This is going their way again. 4v3, the site though still lays ahead, and JW laying away. There's 2 back-to-back for him. Dazed and AZK go down, and we see this swinging around again. Dren and Anger left in a terrible situation. Anger 1 HP. A bit of a strong breeze might take him out of this one, but still, 30 seconds left. JW, Devil, and Pronax to hold on for Fnatic to reclaim a firmer lead in this. And actually, I don't think they've split out where that player is on the side. Finally, Devil will find Anger, and now just one man standing. It's a Dren with the AWP, but I don't think he's going to have much luck in this one. I think it's time to get the hell out of there. Left on 6 HP. He's going to be hunted down surely by Fnatic. I think he might just have time to escape with 8 seconds left. They just didn't have that clean entrance they've normally had. And
they didn't.
It's time to just play it safer.
JW's double kill in that was the difference.
Yeah.
Where in the previous round it was Dazed's double kill, JW's double kill was the big difference on this one.
Sure.
And then when you've got a man with 1 HP in the bomb site and Dren, he was in 2 minds. He was like, do I just sacrifice? Why did I put my own teammate out of his misery? And, you know, get out of there with that AWP. He wasn't committing at all to that one. And got himself out of trouble. And, well, we'll see. 14-12. This one is the game that just keeps on giving. As we go all the way down to the wire as Skadoodle and AZK will push out. It's going to be a frag apiece here. But it's a Dren in that AWP who's just waiting, saying, come to me, come to me. They didn't come. as the smoke followed down, and Adren will rattle off a token shot through the smoke and holds back. We're a frag apiece. iBUYPOWER still sat relatively deep. They've got one just at the entrance of the banana walkway, but other than that, the rest are anchored in the mid. And Fnatic have 2 players deep in A that are eventually going to see some damage. Leave the bomb down at the foot of banana walkway, though, but there's actually going to happen perhaps with Skadoodle and Devilwalk on that side, but it's Dazed and Adren to cross the T's and dot the I's on A, and iBUYPOWER will rotate across now. Skadoodle and Adren will push up the catwalk. Devilwalk will see those two any moment. Dazed and Anger are going to be the two again on their own to do some damage as they will rotate through. This could be a beautiful little sandwich in towards the B site if they can pull it off. Anger gets himself the frag onto JW. Fnatic running out of men really quickly here. Flusher is going to pick himself up the one onto Dazed, and the bomb's being pushed in towards that A site. Anger drops Flusher, and Devilwalk knows he is going to sit back and hold on to his weapon, but they're running out of rounds to save here, Fnatic. It's going to be 14-13 now, and this game will go right down to the wire, and I wonder whether you've got any nails left to bite.
I'm feeling for Fnatic right now. How much are they going to be kicking themselves for those rounds that they occasionally dropped here and there? This is where it all kind of starts building up into these moments where iBUYPOWER, when they don't have that one player against them like JW picks up the double, they do the job. They are outplaying Fnatic right now. They lost a player then in the end just because of the bomb going off, but they're playing really cleanly, and they're not just depending on a B, flat out rush or anything, kind of cheesy. They're playing really hard CS, and they're playing it well, and we need to look at the money situation for Fnatic, because at the moment, by all rights, this will be 14-14. And this is danger time. As we mentioned, this is going all the way. iBUYPOWER fairly quiet initially, but they have come out screaming on this half. And let's see what they got going on here, because we do see one man still with the M4. Obviously, Devilwalk did retain that. He's actually already slightly tagged up as well, so not the perfect start for him. 91 HP left with that armor. But look at JW and Schneider as well. We've got to keep that in mind. They have really kind of situated themselves quite far forward. AZK will find Devilwalk, the one man with the gun. That will be dropped over to, I can imagine, Pronax, who's going to pick up the mantle now. And maybe get a little bit aggressive. He's got one, so they're chipping away at them, but the exchanges are nowhere near in favor to Fnatic, so Flusher now needs to back the hell up, play the B site, but we are seeing Schneider doing work, as is JW. That aggressive play has caught out iBUYPOWER. Their aggressive positions were nowhere near expected, so we are still seeing a 3v2 in favor this time to Fnatic on a round where they only had one gun between them. But right now, Flusher tucked in the corner. Can he go big for his side? Can he pull in the lead? He got the first. That is huge, and now just AZK standing for iBUYPOWER means real trouble. 40 seconds left, though. There's a lot of time. Fakes it out. He's using it perfectly, but JW, that big tag there. They're both sent back on minimal health. And can Fnatic get themselves onto match point here? They certainly have the players. They have the time. And they have AZK against them with only 13 HP left. He's already got 2. He's going to have to go for the quad kill here. Could catch out JW, but does he want to go that aggressive? Does he want to go for the aggression? 17 seconds. That clock will become the biggest factor here. Fakes out again. He heard JW, but he can't get the shot. JW a little bit quicker to the punch then, and Fnatic have got themselves at the very last second off the back of pretty much an eco round onto match point.
JW's come up big in the last 3 or 4 rounds for Fnatic. He's really turned on, and for iBUYPOWER, that was a round they shouldn't have lost. That was a round from their perspective that they will look back on, and if they do end up going out, they will look back at that being the real defining moment, saying that was one we had to deliver. Big moments, should have delivered. And Adren with the AWP is getting quieter, and I feel like they made their statement with the AWP. They could have, rotated that back out to another gun, but hasn't happened for them. And let's not write off the Americans just yet. Abe will come JW's way, explodes in his face. And he's down to 62 points of health. This is where Dazed does so well, and he gets himself that first frag, makes a crossover. Schneider helped himself to 2 though, and Dazed gets a grenade right on the noggin. JW's in the thick of things there. JW is going to get in on the action, gets himself the frag onto AZK. Dazed down, and it could be all she wrote. It is! The Americans are going home, and Fnatic, the first winner of the $250,000 prize, just about hold on to try to make it 2. They defeat iBUYPOWER by 16 rounds to 13, but that was great CS.
Certainly was, and that went all the way through there. And as you mentioned, how much will they be kicking themselves for those last couple of rounds there, where they got caught out by the aggressive play through the apartments from JW, who just caught them off guard. They got too comfortable, and as soon as you get like, you think, okay, we have got this in the bag. We are building that confidence. That's when Fnatic come into their own. When you stop, expecting the unexpected, you start losing these rounds. And credit to Fnatic, they played solid at the end. Then they, even in the big pressure rounds, they went for quite aggressive play. They went for quite out-the-box thinking, even when they really did start feeling the pinch of iBUYPOWER. And I've got to say it, I feel for iBUYPOWER. It's a long trip home now.
Really is, and from their perspective, they will have felt like they went hammer and tong with Fnatic. They will have felt that that's an achievement in themselves, but they're going to look to that Dignitas game, they're going to look to that 14-1 T-side on Nuke and say, you know what, the writing may just have been on the wall from that point forward. But we'll see. It was a very tough group. Let's make no qualms about it. But it's Fnatic that will knock out iBUYPOWER. iBUYPOWER will take the long journey home. We're going to take the short journey over to our American Scoots.
Thank you so much, guys. What a game. You do look sad.
My sad face.
That's a sad face. Not the happiest with the way that turned out.
I have advice for iBUYPOWER. Stop boot camping. It's not.
You heard it here first.
It's not working for them. DreamHack winner. Good boot camp. Out in group play. Again here. Good boot camp. Out in group play. Just stop doing it. Save the money. Stay home. Rest up. It's just unfortunate because, again, it's a costly endeavor. We talked about North America having to do a lot more boot camps, but it's obviously a very expensive proposition to bring your team over anywhere early. And again, it's just unfortunate. Obviously, great game.
An amazing game.
And they were on a roll to tie this bad boy up, but partial. They lost to Nico earlier. They lost partial by towards the end, and again, those kind of rounds you have to lock down.
It was looking like it was going to be a landslide for Fnatic, that they were just going to waltz all over them, and then iBUYPOWER said, nope, we're going to come back, we're getting back into this, we're going to make it interesting, and they were really building up momentum. And for a moment, we were actually discussing, could this be the second upset of the day, that we see another, top team, top pick, Fnatic having one DreamHack.
Yeah, Fnatic, not dead yet, dead yet.
Yeah.
No fluke for us. We do have the bracket updated, so let's go ahead and take a peek at that, and we'll kind of walk through it. So again, as you can see in front of you, what we also know is that Reason Gaming lost to Dignitas. So Dignitas has gone all the way through, which is great. New brand for them. Dignitas is a storied eSport brand, so kind of nice. Their new Counter-Strike Go team is putting them on the map, so they got to be thrilled to be going through. And obviously, iBUYPOWER goes home with $2,000. Fnatic survives. Reason drops down. They got to play each other. That loser's going home. That winner goes through till tomorrow. Crazy CS.
Crazy CS. Very exciting stuff. And how do you think they're going to be the feeling going into that, the Fnatic guys?
I think they're probably doing one of these, like, whoo, because that was close.
Yeah,
there were a couple,
you feel that they got away with a scare there?
Yeah, Counter-Strike can come down to, like, literally that one kill, that one-on-two situation, or even a one-on-one, and turns the tide, And again, that could have gone either way.
Stu and Lauren were talking about that there was that one play in the second to last map that they said they're going to be kicking themselves if they go out now, because this is that moment. You'd agree? You'd side with that?
Absolutely, and I believe that was the partial buy that they basically bought a couple guns, and then the rest were pistols, and then they killed some complexity guys, got their AKs, and then it was basically full guns for them. And again, Fnatic is doing this really cool thing on this map, and they did it in this game, and they've done it online. They've got this thing on Inferno where when they are terrorists, and I think a lot of people are going to start doing it, they don't care who's buried inside the site. They're going to smoke in front of that fountain. They're going to send the bomb carrier in, and he's going to plant. And then they'll leave those guys buried behind the boxes. Like, go ahead, stay back there. And then they just pull away and wait. Because then, now you've flipped it. You know, you're already in, you've done your job, and now those guys have to leave their cover to get to that bomb. And like they planted right in front of them, you know. And again, in the smoke, they don't know. We see it when our man Steel flips on the X-ray, and you go, "Oh shit, he's planted in the smoke." But they're starting to do that every couple time, you know, a couple times each Inferno. And again, I think we're going to see a lot of people do that because again, you just basically you kill half the site. You know, you don't care.
Yep.
You can be hidden in dark. It doesn't even matter. It's like, go ahead, stay back there. You know, we'll just use smoke. And again, I love the new nades of Counter-Strike Go. Everyone's still learning where to throw them, where they should go, but the smokes are really valuable. The Molotovs are going to work. So really, really good stuff by Fnatic. You know, you got to give them kudos. Really do. Sorry, I didn't mess with yourself.
No,
taking over your entire desk here.
You are absolutely fine. We are going to take a short break, but we're going to come right back with a lot more action. And I guess we're going to see where this day of kind of upsets and some just phenomenal games takes us in the last one for today. So stick around. You're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.